New Jersey. What's going on, guys? I'm back. So, just doing this quick video because it's Wednesday. Apparently, the Assembly Appropriate had met on Tuesday around 11 o'clock, and they basically, they were doing their round of voting now for New Jersey legislation. So they had voted on the same amendments that were voted on yesterday, and they voted it to a yes. So that means on Thursday, tomorrow, we're going to have our final legislation put into place. And, it kind of seems like at this point, there was a couple people that spoke. There was a couple people that did not speak. One of them was Joanne Zito. I was actually hoping to hear from her, but I guess, after the other day's testimony, maybe she just felt defeated and felt like, I've had enough. They're going to do what they're going to do. Another guy, I believe his name was Patrick Duff. He spoke, and he had some concerns as well. One of those major concerns was obviously the home cultivation and how they're saying there is no to that, but we're having a legal product, and what happens to people that are, cultivating it that are not licensed. Are they going to then go to prison, or are we going to be throwing people back into a shitstorm system that we just got rid of? Like, what's the deal with that? So, and nobody's giving that answer. Like, it just seems like, first they had said, oh, well, that we're going to leave that up to, lawyers to make this. I'm only a lawmaker. It's like, but they go hand in hand. So they're kind of backtracking around it. And that's definitely, that's worrisome because they have their agenda. They know what they're up to. Obviously, 216 pages didn't show up overnight. That probably was written out prior to even the vote. Yes, I'm sure a lot of this was put already in their minds and on their tables. The amendments that we had voted, or they had amended that were taken into consideration were definitely much needed to the current, to what they had, but it still wasn't really a lot felt like it was good enough. So, obviously we're still going with that, 2-year cap on cultivation, for big business licenses. The micro license has been removed, for caps, obviously. There's that 70-30 split on there for the tax revenues. Obviously workplace safety, that was amended. There's a couple in there, but it's going forward, guys. That's basically where we're at. So at first I thought it was just going to be Monday was going to be voted, and then Thursday, but apparently there was a Monday, a Tuesday, and now a Thursday, and Thursday is it. So I guess we're going to see all those like higher head ups beyond tomorrow's viewing or listening. So I'm not sure how that's going to go about. I believe it's happening in the afternoon. I am going to tune in and listen to it. But at this point, I'm pretty sure that it's basically just a waste of my time. But I will keep reporting it regardless, because I feel like it's going to get voted yes. Because at this point, they want to move it forward. They have their agenda. They know in their mind what's going to benefit them. They are definitely looking at this from a bigger business point of view. And they feel like, I guess, that they've given enough. And right now, in this current legislation, the demands of the people have been somewhat met. And with that being said, if I had the opportunity to go back and recast my ballot, I definitely would have voted no for legalization of cannabis. And that's even being a medical card holder myself. I feel that it wasn't, given a fair, true opportunity. And that we were, it was kind of, they did the old bait and switch. So that sucks. So, as it stands, Thursday is D-Day. I'm pretty sure from what I got out of it that there is not going to be any amendments that are going to be put forward because it has now been passed. There's nothing stalling up. So the only thing that could possibly happen, I believe, is that if it gets voted down, then it would not go forward to the governor's desk. It would not be written up and passed forward for him to sign off on. So, basically, you could think of it two ways. You could think of it like, well, it has to reach the governor's desk and he has to sign off on it. But at this point, like, he did his job, he campaigned it, it happened, it's here. I think a lot of people, if they knew, actually, like if they followed the legislation and was seeing what was going on, they would maybe be a little bit unsettled to how the new regulations are going to work. So I definitely feel that like the ballot should have explained exactly what was up the sleeves, maybe, took that 216 page, effort and put that into maybe a small paragraph of what you guys meant about legalization, what we were voting on versus like just doing the bait and switch to us. So I think there's a lot of confusion on that, and that sucks. So I kind of just lost my train of thought here, but we're going to keep going with this. Anyways, regardless, I've spoken to some people and they feel like, they've abdicated enough and it's not happening. So, a new generation definitely needs to help out. We need to keep being heard and voiced because it's going to impact us on so many other levels. Like, even with the whole home cultivation thing, that's even looking at like a small business standpoint. Depriving that of people, like basically if you had a business idea and you're like, well, I can't afford the business license for cannabis, cultivation license or a micro license or a dispensary or whatever it may be, infusion, but you're like, you know what, I have a small store now. you maybe have a mom and pop hardware store or like local gardening store, you can incorporate, hydroponic products in that, and that could bring revenue in for your business as well. But the fact that they're saying, hey, that's not going to happen, that means that what you have with customer base is not going to increase, legally, activity. So, I mean, they're not looking at this as an aspect of like how we can better smaller areas and even people that are not actually in the cannabis. Because let's face it, like some people didn't even vote for cannabis. They did not want anything to do with it. And, it's going to happen in their town. But, maybe you should let them somewhat benefit if they maybe feel like, hey, well, I can get business brought to me, or yeah, you know what, this does suck. I don't smoke cannabis and there's going to be a store next to me, but I'm a coffee store. Maybe somebody will venture in after and get some pastries or something. Like, it's going to impact many other areas. We can't just look at it as like what the plant is going to bring to the dollar sign to New Jersey. You have to look at it in a whole. So, and they're not really doing that. They're looking at what they can get the most out of this plan is, and that's unfair. That's just how I'm seeing it. We're going to have some of the most highest prices in the area. We don't want to be paying $400 for ounces. Respectively, those $100 ounces, those sound pretty nice, right? So that'll be something great we could see, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be a long time away. So, with all that being said, guys, we're going to just kind of have to wait it out and see what happens. Tomorrow is the vote. Oh, I guess that was where I was going, is that it could not even happen. Maybe tomorrow it can be shot down, but the way they are saying it and the way they all feel about it has got to move forward. The only thing that I'm excited for about tomorrow is least decriminalization. The vote on that is going to actually friggin' happen, which I honestly feel that tomorrow's voting shouldn't even share, or the decriminalization of cannabis needs to be voted on for before any legislation for business of cannabis. That is, if there's anything that I've said that makes any sense, I think that's probably the most of it, is that needs to happen. I don't want to see anybody vote on anything tomorrow for that final judgment until we actually have decriminalization. Because if you can turn around and say, we are going to bring this to New Jersey and we pass this vote first, and we don't even know if decriminalization is going to pass to its final step to meet the governor's desk, but this seems like it's going to happen because the last multi hearings about it just kept leading to yeses. Even though legislators were like, we don't even like this, the vote was still passed. So it's going to happen. Tomorrow is it. So we need to make sure decriminalization is at least put down so that people do not get thrown back into a system. There is not that crazy gray area, because I don't really think we're going to have any much of a recreational market anytime soon. And that's just my own personal thoughts on it and predictions. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We're going to have a video tomorrow or on Friday covering whatever happens in the shit show. And stay safe, guys. And hopefully don't get this friggin' snow. Stay safe.